Welcome to today's session. In our last session, we have made our basic discussions relating to levy, more specifically normal levy under GST. Now, in continuation with that, we will discuss about that and step into some small practical areas and then get into a larger area called as reverse charge. On that, we will try to close about reverse charge on goods. Okay. Coming back here, as part of our earlier discussions relating to levy, we came out and told normally it is a responsibility of the supplier to pay tax. Supplier will pay tax, no doubt. Is it only supplier? Use the word. Let me repeat it. Is only supplier has to pay tax to government? The answers are a little different. No. There are identified instances where there are notified goods, notified services, where the recipient of a notified goods or services is liable to pay tax. Again, a further question comes in. Is it only recipient is liable to pay tax? No, there are an exceptional circumstance where e-commerce operator is liable to pay tax. So the levy is broadly categorized into three. Supplier will be liable to pay tax generally and many times to government. Exceptionally, recipient will be liable to pay tax and rarely on notified services, e-commerce operator is liable. We have discussed about intrastate supply. Yes, section 9 of CGST Act will be verbatim with section 9 of SGST Act. So in our whole discussion, we should have always been taught about a supplier and a place of supply, a transaction that happened within the state. In case of intrastate supply of any sale of general product, the supplier is liable to pay tax. The rate of tax will be notified by the government. However, the rate of tax cannot exceed 20%. CGST alone cannot exceed 20%, and another SGST is another 20%. Overall tax is 40%. Tax has to be valued, or the goods has to be valued as per section 15, followed by tax has to be paid by the person in the manner prescribed. That is your time of supply as per section time of supply. All this we have understood and discussed about it. Two goods are excluded. One is alcohol, another one is petroleum product until it is going to be notified by the government. Petroleum is out of tax. Reverse charge, otherwise very popularly called as the method in which it operates, called as reverse charge mechanism. When it comes to reverse charge, notified or specified goods or services, if received by a person, no doubt the recipient is liable to pay tax. Sir, what rates are same rate that will be determined by government? What value, sir? Value as per section 15. When he has to pay tax as per section 12 and 13. See, rest all provisions will apply whatever is applicable for a supplier. All provisions will apply to the recipient as if he is the supplier, as if he is a person liable to pay tax. Kindly make a note. All provisions will apply to the recipient as if he is the person liable for paying tax in relation to such supply. A very careful word. So, as if all the supply is made by him, all these provisions will be applied. Coming back here, getting into Notified goods. What are the goods notified? We have a list of goods notified. We have a services list of services that are all notified. A variation has been brought in when it comes to its 9(5) reverse charges concern, where specified class of registered person and a specified category of goods or services, both will be specified. Very interesting. Specified class of registered person, specified category of goods and services, both will be specified. In case of both will be specified, yes, we will have this discussion. RCM would be applicable. What is that? We will take it up sometime later, maybe not now much relevant to us. In case of services by e-commerce operator, not all services, identified services. Sir, what are those identified services? Transportation of passengers by radio, taxi, motor cab, motorcycle. Providing accommodation services. Providing housekeeping services. In case of accommodation services and housekeeping services alone, where the person supplying the service is not registered, okay, not liable for registration under GST, which means technically there is a e-commerce operator. Let's take up Urban Clap. Urban Clap allows a third-party person to supply service through them, but that third-party person is not registered with GST. Then only Urban Clap is liable for GST. Otherwise, Urban Clap is not liable for GST for the transaction. We are talking of transaction, not the money earned by Urban Clap between Urban Clap and the third party. No, for the transaction, money collected from the consumer. Okay. These are all our broader understanding. I do understand this revision is little required because a lot of us would have not had an experience or would have not had time to review all this. I do understand we are all a little more busy when it comes to spending time on all these aspects associated. Coming back here, getting into today's discussion. Sir, what do we have in stores as far as today's discussion is concerned? What are we going to discuss from today's perspective? What is going to be there for us for today? When it comes to that discussion, we have already discussed about your, what is it? Section we have already discussed about your section 9. Similarly, we will go to section 5. Yes. So, coming back here, section 5. Sir, when this section 5 would be applicable? Again, a levy, normal levy, but only in case of, this would be applicable only in case of interstate supply. The only difference between section 9 of CGST SGST Act and section 5 of IGST Act, section 9 would be applicable in case of intrastate supply and section 5 would be applicable in case of interstate supply. No. All interstate supply of goods or services. All interstate supply of goods or services would be liable to GST, except alcoholic liquor and petroleum products. Liquor and petroleum product are not leviable to GST, but for it, all products are leviable to GST. And again, what would be the value? The value will be determined as per section 15. Similarly, a next question comes, what will be the rate notified by central government? As far as the rate notified by central government is concerned, the rate would be not exceeding 40%. Of course, the rate will be decided. Now, some of us will have a doubt, sir, here alone IGST, why 40%? Very simple, CGST 20%, SGST 20%, together you will get a IGST 40%. So don't think it otherwise, don't take it in a different way and all. The idea is whole logical. The idea over here is when it comes to interstate supply, central government will have an exclusive right to tax. Let me repeat, when it comes to IGST, central government will have an exclusive right to tax. When central government has an exclusive right to tax, nothing great about it. When central government has an exclusive right to tax, the rate would be only 40%, followed by GST would be collected in the manner prescribed, which is section 12 and 13, time of supply, 12 and 13 of CGST. In case of imported goods into India, the collection of IGST will be as per customs tariff. Imported goods means that goods comes into India, cross the custom frontiers of India. Some of us were having doubts before crossing. If it is before crossing custom frontiers of India, then it is not a supply. Schedule 3. When it crosses custom frontiers of India, the goods comes into India. Goods where somebody file, you have to remember this word. Though when you go to customs, this word becomes very normal to you. And for some of the people who are aware of this word, then okay. If you are not aware of this word, for every imported goods into India, legally, if you have imported goods into India, you will have a document called as bill of entry. If it is a goods legally imported into India. Sir, what do you mean by legal import? Which means properly reported in the customs department. We have a department called as customs department who takes care of the import-export transactions. And a document is filed called as bill of entry. Once that is filed and the goods are cleared into India, which we call it as legal import. When a product is legally imported into India, no botheration, mark my word, absolutely no botheration. In all those products, there would be a levy of IGST. If it is an import of goods, if it is an import of services, who will have an exclusive right? Recollect once again, it will be central government. We have also read nature of supply. In case of import of goods, in case of import of services, it will be exclusively taxed by central government, interstate supply. That is why they told. In that import of goods alone they are referring. Services are not referred here. IGST on imported goods, the levy and collection will be as per section 3 of customs tariff. Points for our discussion. These aspects to be taken care in mind. Imported goods, tax will be levied by customs department. However, import of service will be as per section 5(1) only. Again, when it comes to various activities of various activities of any interstate supply of goods or services other than these goods, levy would be paid or the levy would be determined as per this section. So first we will check whether there is a supply or not. Then we will check what is the nature of supply. If the nature of supply is intra, then we will refer a different section. If the nature of supply is inter, then we will refer a different section. Having referred that section, further we will check. Is it covered by those specified category of transactions, or is it a transaction involving e-commerce operator? Then we will go to the respective section. Else, always it will be covered by your general heading or a normal levy. All goods, all services except liquor and petroleum product are leviable to tax. We already read this. Nothing great. If in case there is going to be a interstate supply of alcoholic product, petroleum product, more specifically 5 petroleum product: crude oil, diesel, petrol, aviation turbine fuel, natural gas. These 5 items. Sir, do I need to remember, sir? Yes, kindly remember. May be tested as an MCQ, possibility of MCQ. Because I'm sure as part of your good old days of student days in chemistry, you would have read about 13 different products that are there in which can be extracted from crude oil. I'm not sure. 13 different products. There is something called as naphtha. There is something called as sulfur. There is something called as black oil. There is something called as tar. There is something called as your peg, petro pigment, or some one more word is there, not able to be collected. These are all extracts of crude oil. Okay, for all those products, whatever I have now mentioned, all are leviable to IGST. Major product is going to be petroleum product. Major product is going to be petrol, diesel, crude oil. Of course, from crude oil only all this comes: crude oil, petrol, diesel, aviation turbine fuel, natural gas, and your crude oil, petrol, diesel, aviation turbine fuel, and natural gas. These 5 items alone, no doubt, until central government, in consultation with GST Council, comes up and announce a date, until that date, it will not be leviable to GST. So that's the reason. Sir, why, sir? I think on the last session itself, we have concluded why. In case you have missed last session or that point not registered in your mind last session, very simple reason: current tax rate which is being collected on these products are higher. That is the simplest reason, more preferably from state government perspective. It is not the central government is not showing interest. It is the state government generally is not showing interest because of a very simple reason. For every state government, revenue will drop. See, like how center is so powerful, state is also powerful. I'm not sure. Definitely, to appreciate this, if you have a experience of a joint family living, then maybe you can understand what I'm trying to say. There would be something expenditure as a family as a whole. There would be another expenditure as a compartmentalized, that nuclear family. I'm talking of a real joint family. Today, somehow people come out and say, yes, sir, we are also living in joint family. Then suddenly you'll ask, how many of you are alive? Sir, me, my wife, and my son. Joint family, sir. So joint family, somehow learning itself. For me today, I go by a very simple term, where if a person lives along with his or her linear ascendants and linear dependents, then it would be treated as joint family. Okay. So to me, I'm not even going to the real joint family. Sometimes if you ask the definition of joint family to your own father, he would come up with a different meaning. Okay, different meaning completely, because he would see the joint family from his experience. Okay. Now, I'm not finding it. See, it requires a high give and take when it comes to the joint family, and somehow people are losing that. What is it? Restlessness associated with all. Now, my contention of coming into a joint family is very simple, where in a joint family, there would be a common expenditure. There would be also a compartmentalized expenditure. Okay. Compartmentalized expenditure has to be managed by that individual person who is making a living, followed by common expenditure for which also he should give a share. Similarly, in a state, there would be something of common in nature, which has been borne by the central government. Apart from that, for the state to function, the state has to generate revenue. Today, there are a lot of challenges. I'm not sure if you happen to see the last GST Council, okay, I would recommend, see, because you are learning some papers, you should, learning subjects, you should start listening to some of those taxation related news on direct taxes. Whenever I would recommend. See, this is all, I do agree. Sometimes when you listen to somebody speak, you will not understand anything. It's okay. It's okay. You listen, you start listening to it. Over a period of time, you will be able to understand. It's not the first to go, you will not know anything. I still remember the first day when I saw the budget, when I was being asked to see the budget. On that day, I never understood anything. Honestly, I'll share, I don't know zero. Why 3 hours this fellow spoke? I still remember the budget which I saw was presented by the then finance minister, Shri P. Chidambaram, on that day. I never understood anything. But as time passed by, the next year, the third year, the fourth year, today, if we listen to budget, we know this is not relevant, this is relevant, this is something on economy, this is something on macroeconomics, this is on something on a particular sector he is speaking. So, what to read, how to read, though it will be a little voluminous publication of 180 plus pages, where to refer, it will all come over a period of time. As simple as that, I'm not sure. Today, a lot of us lost interest on reading newspapers. Okay. I'm not sure. If you honestly ask me, I don't read newspaper at all. Somehow I lost that interest. It doesn't mean I don't follow news. We follow news in a different mode. I don't go by those WhatsApp news and all. For me, any social media news is humbug news. Okay. So I don't give a weightage or a trust for it, as it is always manipulated. But the point that we want to drive home here is, in case of something that is been relating to all this, these newspapers which are all available, I'm not sure, first day if you start take up Economic Times and read it, you will not make any head or tail out of it. So what I have to do, first day if you pick a paper, you have to simply see the headings and pass by, that's all. Second day, sir, only major headings. Read the major headings and pass by. That's all. Third day, sir, only major heading, pass by. Fourth day, major heading, pass by. Fifth day, you could able to get connect with the heading. Oh, day one, this fellow was about to do a deal, was mentioned. Now on day 5, how he is going to do the deal, who are all the prospective clients to whom he is going to pitch, that information will be available. So you would be able to start connecting towards it, and over a period of time, the interest would be accumulated. The whole discussion goes in the same way. In the same way, government thought, let me first introduce let all the other products be successful, then we will implement GST on petrol. That day will come very soon. That day will come. Not sure about when that day will come. Okay, that's all. Coming back here, when it comes to interstate supply, like how there is a possibility where the supplier and the recipient and place of supply can be in the same state, there is also a possibility that supplier, recipient, place of supply can be in different state. If the matter is going to be a matter which need to be argued before Madras High Court, I would engage an advocate in Chennai. If the issue is going to be an issue, or a matter is going to be a matter which is going to be argued before the Supreme Court, then definitely I would engage an advocate who is practicing in Delhi. Advocate is in Delhi, company is in Chennai. Now, place of supply, no doubt, is going to be Chennai. Location of supplier, Delhi. Place of supply, Chennai. Now, here there is an interstate supply. Because of that reason, the RCM, the reverse charge that is going to be applicable, is going to be a interstate reverse charge. Same discussion, no changes. The recipient of the service is liable to pay tax under reverse charge. And we have a list of notified goods. We also have a list of notified services. I'm not pressing on those. What are those goods and services? As I earlier mentioned, that would be a separate discussion by itself. Getting into a newly amended one, which will be specified category of persons and a specified category of goods and services. In case specified category of goods and services, I believe on the other day I would have discussed about the construction industry as a specified category of person for this particular section. And in case if we procure cement, if we procure capital goods from unregistered person, the supplier of a capital goods is located in another state. Recipient is a construction industry company, a construction company in Tamil Nadu. He buys the capital goods. No doubt, under reverse charge, he has to pay GST. A very different section. Sir, is there any difference between 5.3 and 5.4 in terms of its wording? Yes. 5.3 and 5.4 is different in terms of its wording. When it comes to section 5.3, the goods or services has to be specified. When it comes to 5.4, the person and the goods or services to be specified. Both two conditions. So that makes the difference. Otherwise, everything would be called as reverse charge, and the model that is operated called as reverse charge mechanism. Both reverse charge and reverse charge mechanism are synonymous words. Let's make it very clear. Both are synonymous words. Moving forward. Section 5, subsection 5. In case of e-commerce operator. Not every transaction, no doubt this is not applicable for goods. It is only for specified category of services. What are those specified category of services, sir? Again, those three services: transportation of passengers by radio taxi, providing accommodation services, that too, where the services supplied through e-commerce operator is not registered. There would be an exception, except where the person. So if you read it in the positive way, see, I brought it how it is there in the notification. But if you wanted to read it as a commentary, if he is registered, then here it is not covered. If it is not registered, then e-commerce operator is liable. Same in the case of housekeeping services. So for these three services, no doubt e-commerce operator is liable to pay tax. All provisions will apply as if the supplier is liable to pay. One of the disadvantage of a e-commerce operation business. Okay. Now Uber is not doing in this way. I just want to discuss with you Uber in 2016. Uber operator. Your Ola Uber operator, e-commerce operator. Uber company originated from, it's a company having its office in, head office in which country? Okay. US, UK, Germany, Japan, okay, USA, okay, France, okay. Anybody else? Uber as a company whose major business originates from USA. I've been told it originates from no, Ola is Indian company. Okay, then sold to foreign company. Ola is a two fellow idea of IIM Ahmedabad. Okay, so Ola is originated from India, but now the control, equity control is with the foreign company. Okay, coming back here, US. I mean, it starts with Canada. Initially, it started in Canada. Then maybe they would have shifted its operation to US. I'm not following it that in a great way. My botheration is also not on that. But understand, majority of the e-commerce operator company may not have office in India. Do you agree with that? The apps that you have in the Apple store, the apps that you have in your Play Store, the app that you have in your BlackBerry store, or the app that you are going to have in your Windows store, those mobile phone app making company will not have office in India, but do a transaction in India. Yes or no? A mobile phone app making company will not have office in India, but do a transaction in India. I'm not sure. You should have booked your cab during 2016. By 2016, we had Uber coming into India. 2014 was the origin for your Ola. Ola 2014. Then slowly, then once the market is prepared, everything is done, then your Uber comes into play. 2016, a travel from Adayar to Ananagar on a cab was booked by a company which has its office in US or Canada, somewhere. Now, the point that need to be noted is if in case e-commerce operator has no office in taxable territory. In India, he don't have office. He shall appoint an agent for the compliance under GST. There would be a possibility that a person can supply services in India without even having office in India. All they want is internet connection should be up and on. You take up majority of the mobile application software, they don't have office in India. Just for your information, Zoom does not have office in India. Think the amount of money that is being paid to Zoom. On an average, every company today pay 15,000 rupees to Zoom on an average. And some of them pay, some of the educational institutions pay per month 15,000. You take up any school, runs on Zoom platform. Majority of these schools, I'm not, there are schools choose alternate platforms. We have about 16 platforms as of today. Successful platforms are 6 platforms. Could be your Zoom, could be your Cisco WebEx, could be your GoToWebinar, or it is going to be your BlueJeans, Google Meet, no doubt about it, followed by SteamYard. Very successful, platforms. But among all, Zoom takes a front lead. Microsoft Teams is there, no doubt, but again, it's very closely used by that community people who have that which Microsoft related aspects. I have never come across an educational institution or Microsoft Teams is so widely used. Okay, I'm not denying it's also at least in the popularity I just listed it out. Now my contention is very simple. Among all, why is Zoom, sir? Two major reasons. The bandwidth that he uses is the least bandwidth among all. So there will not be a data loss by having a simple 2G, 3G connectivity. Somebody can participate in the meeting, start being a host, and start do the meeting itself. So that is one of the advantages when it comes to the data that is being used. It's one among the least is Zoom, no doubt. And the pressure on the hardware, again, Zoom is the least. Successful reason is this too. A lot of research maybe would have went in. We are not stepping it on it. On neither I'm promoting Zoom. I'm not beyond that. But there are plus minuses in relation to various other aspects. But coming back here, our core discussion, Zoom does not have an office in India. But from every person, he collects every individual, he collects money. A user license which is less than 100 people can participate, it's cost 15,000 rupees to 18,000 rupees per year. Where 100 people plus can participate, it would cost 15,000 rupees per month, which means a lakh and 80,000 rupees per year. Now, given this background, given this whole situation, Zoom does not have an office in India. Zoom shall appoint an agent in India, and that respective agent would be responsible for the purpose of compliances under GST. So this is a case where that e-commerce operator is not available in India, how it has to be handled. So that sums up your discussion relating to both intrastate supply and interstate supply. That's the next topic by itself, composition levy. We will not take it up now. We will take it up in our next class. But then what we are going to do now, sir, we are going to take up some questions on nature of supply and levy under GST. I have a lot to ask you. Before that, few of you have raised your hand. I'll unmute yourself. Srinivasan. Yes, Srinivasan.
Sir, can you please differentiate section 5.3 and section 5.4, sir? I
5
can't understand by words.
No. 5.3 is applicable only for notified goods or notified services. Okay. If
Yes,
your
sir.
goods or services notified, then 5.3 is applicable. When it comes to your 5.4, this would be applicable in a case where uh, not only 5.3, 5.4. This would be applicable in a case where the person is also notified and the goods or services also notified. Then only it would be applicable. That is your difference.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now clear, sir.
Okay, 9.4, as I earlier told, is as of now applicable for one industry only, construction industry. If that industry person buy a capital goods, so industry is notified, capital goods is notified, then only applicable. That,
Yes,
yes?
sir. Yes, sir.
No. Thank you. Yes, anybody else? I'll just give you a minute. Can you convert that? Just give me a minute. I'm just opening a file, which is in the cloud. If any of you have any doubts, yes, I would take it up. Else, just a minute, I'm downloading a file. I will take up the questions by dictation. Hang on. We'll start with the first question. I'll just type through the question. Just give me a minute. We are starting with a very simple question. Just being a first problem to discuss, I thought I would make it a little more simple and comfortable to you. Start here, tap on your experiences, ensure you get the best answer out of it. Here we have S Limited, which is in Mumbai, Maharashtra, has supplied goods to Mr. R located in Pune, again Maharashtra, where the place of supply is also Maharashtra. We have been asked two questions. What is going to be the nature of supply? Again, similarly, our next question, which is going to be over here, is what is going to be who is liable to pay tax? Both questions are careful questions. Sir, how I can decide upon that? I think yes, you can decide upon. If possible, start coming up answers with your section numbers. If you could able to freeze out. See, this is the only way in which you can take control of the section numbers. If you try it, you will get it. I'm sure. You try it, you will get it. But again, you have to try it. It is only a try that we have to make it over here. So the nature of supply is as per this section. Levy is as per this section. Okay, good. Yes. How many mean about 4 of you have answered? Yes, all of you all right. Quick read through the question. A very simple question. S Limited in Mumbai has supplied goods to Mr. R located in Pune, where the place of supply is Maharashtra. What is the nature of supply and who has to pay GST? Of course, when we ask like question like this to government only, don't come out and say consumer. If some of you will say, I'll get very angry. I'm saying, if some of you are going to come out and say, sir, consumer will pay, sir, means that's all. For everything, consumer only will pay. We are asking only from the liability from a supplier perspective. Quick. See, I want to discuss minimum 10 questions. Okay. You have a lot of variety. if you're going to take a delay in replying, what will happen is nothing. Instead of 10 questions, 6 questions will be discussed. That left out 4 questions, no, that alone will come in exam. I know. Because it is a difficulty level. The level increases, the game will become interesting in the same fashion. When you keep on increasing your levels in the question, and the highest level will only come in exam. I leave it to you. Based on your responses, based on everything, only things will move. Ishwar, check your section and content. Prithviraj, check your content. Cyril, check your content. Let me answer it here. Some of you, a lot of you got it right. But all I was expecting is as location of supplier and place of supply is in same state. Nature of supply will be intra-state supply as per section 8 of IGST. Okay. Followed by, in case of intra-state supply of goods or services or both, other than, let me repeat, other than alcoholic liquor or petroleum product, other than alcoholic liquor or petroleum product, the supplier is liable to pay tax under section. If you write 9 also okay, but I would recommend 9(1) of CGST. See, some of you straight away say supplier liable to pay. Yes, straight away supplier. Straight away told S limited. But again, if it is a descriptive question, see, this answer would be applicable if it is a descriptive question only. Sir, if it is going to be MCQ, same question comes to me, straight away answers will be there as a S limited. You select that answer and the whole issue would come out and get concluded over here. Okay. Okay. That's all is going to be your answer. See, I'm giving you a complete answer. Sir, is anything more is there here? No, that's all. This is not the only answer. This is a suggested answer. Okay. Suggested answer for the question. So don't be much bothered about it. But my intention here is your questions, you have to reply it in this form only. True? Yes. So you have addressed about your place of location of supplier and place of supply is in the same state. Maybe you can add one word called as Maharashtra. Hence, nature of supply will be intrastate. Done? Yes. So, sir, what do you expect from me as a chat box answer? LOS and POS in same state. Hence, nature of supply, or LOS and POS same state. So, it is a intrastate supply, section 8, followed by this goods or services would be covered under forward charge by, and tax will be paid by S limited. under section 9.1. A lot of you told state away intra-state supply without referring LOS and POS in the same state. See, if you don't text it, no, that intention will not. That's all. Okay. And only 14 of you have answered out of a close to 100. Let me repeat. A close to 100. Only 14 of you have answered. So make your understanding very clear. Let me repeat. This is the only way you can get judged. This is a virtual room. In fact, you are on your room or you are on your place. How many times you follow, no one will know. Let me repeat. How many times you are going to follow, no one you know. Don't get carried away, sir, because you are asking us to verify or you are calling our name and get finding it difficult. Come on, don't get bothered about all these and all. That is the only way I can confirm to you that you have to revisit your understanding. Now, and again, if I get a best answer, I also appreciate you to the core when it is available. So make yourself more comfortable. Important area. These areas are straight through. If it is an MCQ, you get closely to 3 MCQs on this. If it is a descriptive question, a solid 6 mark plus areas. Okay. 6 marks only on this content. For me, reverse charge is a topic by itself. Without touching into reverse charge, just this topic alone is so much weightage. Make yourself more comfortable on this topic. Don't get carried away by all those answers. I want a lot of you to answer it. This is the only way you can confirm your understanding. No, sir, I will take care of everything in exam. Just I'll remind you, for me, nobody straight away conferred chart accountancy. Tambi vanga, CA edutukonga ponga. Nobody gave me. I know. Okay. And I've been into the sessions. I've been into the field of coaching minimum for a period of a decade. I know what is a student's mentality. I know what is a student will do. And in fact, I'm one of the worst student on the earth. I always behave like that. Okay. So for me itself, less spoken is less better. Question number 2. PQR and Co. An advocate firm in Delhi has provided services to a company in Tamil Nadu. Tea Limited in Tamil Nadu for rupees 3 lakhs. The rate of CGST 9% and SGST is 9%, comma IGST is 18%. Determine nature of supply and tax payable to government. Yes, quick. Question number 2. So you need to determine nature of supply. You need to determine who has to pay tax to government, and you should also need to determine how much is the tax payable. The rate of tax is available, so quickly you can decide. Nature of supply, what is the type of levy here, and who has to pay. Yes. In case one minute, in case some of you have doubt on that, I will also give that for a better clarity. That would be better. 1 minute. Come on. Place of supply. POS, place of supply is TN. Okay. Just for your information. This information, because we have not touched up a topic called as place of supply, you will be given. Okay. I want what is the nature of supply. Word is English word, tax payable to government and the tax amount. How much tax payable means when amount are all given, how much tax is to be paid. Preferably along with the section numbers. It's a habit we need to cultivate. It. Pratap, check. Vidya Shankar, check. Pratap, again check your answer. Revised answer is also wrong. See, IGST is correct, interstate supply is correct, but I'm only finding it a lack here. Who has to pay tax? I think I have told in case of advocate services, RCM is applicable. Okay. I thought you all will remember. I don't know why some of you missed it. Okay. If you want, I can now add all that also, but this will not be added in a genuine question because for you, RCM is pending. I'm just adding this word. Advocate services are liable under see I am adding you for you because I am yet to take up this topic called as a reverse charge in detail to you. I am adding it to you, but genuinely in an exam question, this will not be added. This is summa for you, okay? Because some of you have came up with a correct answer. You said what is it? Uh, IGST is payable 18%. Amount is 54,000. But tax will be paid by PQR limit. No, PQR and Co will not pay tax as advocate services liable under reverse charge, one of the notified service. The tax will be paid by PQR limit. Srinivasan, 9-1 will not come, 9-3 will come. Okay. 9-1 will not come. Sorry, 5. Srinivasan. Shreyvarshini, you will be concluding it is a interstate supply. But referring section 9 or you should refer section 5? You should refer 9 or you should refer 5? Srinivasan, same challenge. Interstate supply, but section 9. Disadvantage of using a wrong section number. You should not have a name called as iPad. Okay. Seriously, iPad is a given name of somebody. See, these are all virtual room etiquette, means that has to be followed. That has to be followed. I will call you as iPad. Dheeraj, 15 and all will not come here. Sorry. See, lot of you referred 5-1 because you're all not aware of this. Advocate services are liable under reverse charge. Okay, that is the reason. Or maybe after this note, a lot of you would be aware about that. Nothing great, but just be aware of it. As location of supplier and place of supply is in different state. Okay. Location of supplier is going to be Delhi, and place of supply is going to be TN. Nature of supply will be interstate supply as per section 7 of IGST. Okay. In case of interstate supply of goods or services which are notified by central government applicable under reverse charge. These are all applicable under reverse charge. The recipient being T Limited is liable to pay tax under 5(3) of IGST. When it comes to intrastate supply, it is section 9. Interstate supply, it would be section 5. These are all basic understanding. You have to remember. See, how much advantage if you have a descriptive question when you make a answer by referring a section number. Equal will be the disadvantage if you quote a wrong section number. So section number is secondary. To me, section number is always secondary. Content is more important. But somehow that eagerness for writing a section number should always be present. Often a lot of you will ask me, or being this is one common question that we always have. I think I should have discussed about it. Have I discussed about your best friend's address? No. Sure. Good. So maybe this is the right time. We will take it up that discussion. Shreya, I'll take it up. 2 minutes, okay? All of us have a best friend. Okay. By this time, all of us would have identified this soul is a best friend. It's a doubt that we will have till 18, 19 and all, but by 20 we will reach. That's all. This is my soulmate. Rarely at 22, 24 we'll have a real soulmate. I'm talking of a friend. Okay, real friend. Till life they are going to be friend. Okay, no conversions in relationships. Very clear understanding. Friend to whom you can share whatever is in your mind. Okay, no botheration. Whom you are, he or she will know to you at that level. Now, a friend like that you have, one of your best friends. For some of us, we are all gifted from third standard, same friend. அவனுக்கும் போர் அடிக்கல இவனுக்கும் போர் அடிக்கல. Okay. For some of us, we'll have a friendship only. Maybe last 3-4 years we are friends, but we are all so attached. When that person, this person thinks that person buys, or that person thinks this person. So to that extent, that rapport is working. Okay. So you think of a friend like that. Okay. You don't think of some other friend which is mutual friend or friend in some social media. Okay. A friend of that type you have no. Be honest to yourself. You are on a chat mode which is more privately done. Okay. You share it to me. Do you know your close friend's address, home address? Be honest to yourself. Do you know your best friends? I'll make a honest confession. I don't know. My best friend's address, house address, starting from so and so number, this, that, pin code வரைக்கும் சொல்லணும். Pin code வரைக்கும் தரணும். வீடு தெரியுமான்னு கேட்கல. Where he stays is not the question. The question is different. Do you know his address? சத்தியமா தெரியாது சார். Okay. Okay. Exceptionally, 3 people answered. Okay. This question will not suit. I'm not creating a gender bias. This question will not suit for a lady member. Okay. For a lady member, this question will not very comfortably suit. For a male member, this question will suit 200%. Okay. Now, why I want to highlight here is, okay, exactly that is what is your section number. Section number is a reference. It's an act. For the act, they want a reference. Now, I'll repeat the question. All of us know to go to his house or her house. Yes or no? We know the route. We know everything. Yes. That's all. Content is the route. Content is the destination. Okay. Content is more important. Tomorrow you want to go to his or her house, you have to go. To know, you need the content. The content is more important than the section number. You can always call. Second time reading, you can understand it. Third time reading, you can get a grip of it. Fifth time reading, you'll master over that section and its purpose. So my view, don't be much bothered about it. People who told yes and all, I have been aware of it. Okay, for the address, yes. They all generally write section numbers for your information. Okay, so that is the reason they say yes. Okay, Could be 4 people have answered yes, sir. I know the house. Yes. Out of the other 16 who have answered in the otherwise. In any case, that's just an example. That's all is the weightage. You get extra half mark, 1 mark on a descriptive question. No doubt MCQs are sometimes coined on sections. But not every MCQ, no. Rarely MCQs are coined on sections. Is it as per this section, this section, this section, this section? That's called as brain teasing question. Even at MCQ level, section number is important. We want to just emphasize on that point. For those purposes, it would be a little more relevant for us. In any case, we'll do one thing. We'll take up a next question for our discussion. Sorry, Shreyavarshini, can you raise your hand? I'll unmute you. Yes.
Sir, for the last question that you asked, it was easy to find out it was RCM, but under section 5.3 or 5.4, it was difficult to decide on it.
No.
How?
5.4, only one entry will come. Construction industry.
Only construction. Okay.
Only construction industry.
Same way for 9.3 and 9.4 as well.
Yeah. Same. Only one industry, only one service will come that we will learn at the last when we discuss RCM. Everything under 9.3. You no need to have a confusion at all. Everything is 9.3.
9.3.
Only on one count it is 9.4.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So coming back here. ஐபேட்லாம் அநியாயம். பேரை மாத்துன்னு சொல்லியாச்சுல, கௌரவமா சொன்னோம்ல, தயவு செய்து பேரை மாத்துறீங்களான்னு. திருப்பியும் ஐபேட்னே ரிப்ளை பண்ணா என்னப்பா மரியாதை? See, I am in a very good mood. I want to be in that mood only. Okay. We'll get into the next problem for discussion. Yes. It's again a different question. Uber Cabs, e-commerce operator located in USA, is engaged in supply of transportation of passengers through motor cab. By using the services of various suppliers who supply services through e-commerce. Many consumers have used the services of e-commerce operators. Who is liable to pay GST? Supplier, e-commerce operator, or recipient. Value of supply of services provided during the month is rupees 15 lakhs, which is leviable to CGST at 2.5%, SGST 2.5%, and IGST. ECO is of view as they are located in a non-taxable territory both supplier and recipient, including place of supply, is in TN. A little detailed question. Yes. No hurry. I want answers for all three questions. Italic 1, Italic 2, Italic 3. Question number 3. Italic 1, Italic 2, Italic 3. Quick. Vidya Shankar, RCM means it is your recipient will pay tax. You really want to use that word? Dheeraj, check your answer. Sumit Jain, check your answer. Hey Anand, your answer is through. See, if tax rate, if you say intra-state supply, you should calculate CGST separately, SGST separately. You cannot calculate both. It's apple, orange, mango. You cannot say fruits 15 I have. You have to say apple 5 is there, orange 5 is there, mango 5 is there. So when it is apple, orange, mango, you have to commit at least to the extent. Sir, percentage is same, no, but percentage is same. Revenue goes to different government. So you cannot say 75,000 tax. No, that is not agreeable at all. Make yourself see. These are all methodologies of reporting. You have to report it only like this. The moment it is an intrastate supply, as the percentages are different, CGST so much amount, 2.5% so much amount. SGST 2.5% so much amount. Amount I require percentage kuduthachu, value kuduthachu, appo tax amount kandupidikano. Okay, value of supply is so much, which is leviable to GST so much. Automatically you have to decide what is the tax payment. Dhruv, nice answer. Karthik Narayanan, good. Good, Ishwar CK, good. Prabhakaran, third answer alone check. Sai Venkata, third answer, third point. Pratap, I somehow personally believe you have to revise nature of supply once again. Lavanya, second and third. Second and third point, both. Prithviraj, how come 9.5 and 5.5? I don't understand that logic. The third statement is false. You want answer. What is the solution for that? You want answer for that. Priya, third answer. The third point is just now I have discussed this morning also, once again. Shushmita, good. Why, Sumit Jain, you don't agree on the third question? Reason. Again, Cyril, same question. Why you don't agree? Srinivasan KC, one place you are referring 9.5. Another place you are referring 5.5. Is 9.5 is applicable or 5.5 is applicable? For to give you clarity only, supplier and recipient and place of supply is in TN. One note is there, last line. Check. But for it, your answer is true. 9.5. Okay. 9.5 you have to use. That. See, a little different question from your maybe earlier questions, all these models. You don't write 5.5 not relevant and all. Even otherwise, it will be like this. 5.5 will come only if it is an interstate supply transaction. It is something like I read no, so I have to write. No, not like that. To start with, who is liable to pay tax? On that ground, a lot of you got it right. ECO is liable to pay tax as per section 9(5) of CGST and respective state SGST. No doubt about it. Why ECO is liable to pay tax? As maybe that you can make a note of it. As this point was missed. Maybe all of you are aware of it. That is why you never wrote. As the supply of service is being notified by government. Supply of service being notified by government in case of transportation of passengers by the e-commerce operator is liable to pay tax. The respective e-commerce operator is liable to pay tax. A lot of you got it right. I don't have any views. Maybe some of you were kept in your mind. Some of you never discussed that supply of services, which is going to be transportation of passengers by MaxiCab, is a service notified by government, which specifically creates a liability that only the e-commerce operator is liable to pay. Now, as the supplier of service and place of supply is in same state, it will be treated as an intra-state supply, and on rupees 15 lakhs, the ECO is liable to pay CGST at the rate of 2.5% amounts to rupees 37,500, and SGST at the rate of 2.5% amounting to rupees 37,500. Understood? Clear? Yes. A lot of you typed it as 75,000, 75,000, 75,000. It has to be disclosed like this only. You cannot type it out. Unless otherwise it is IGST only, you will type it out as italic 3. We don't agree with ECO because the ECO located in non-taxable territory shall appoint an agent in India for GST compliance. That's all I expect. Beyond that, nothing. Is that statement is true or right? No doubt it is false. That's agreeable. But what is the solution? The company let might be located in USA or wherever they want. Let might be located. You are doing a business transaction in India. You are executing a transaction in India. Then there is a responsibility that only you have to pay tax. At that time, you will appoint an agent in India and you will ask him to pay tax. That is true. Quick. Any doubts? Can we move forward? Karthik Narayan, 1 minute. Yes, Karthik.
சார் சார் இந்த நோட்டிஃபைட் சர்வீசஸ்ல அந்த அகாமடேஷன் இன் ஹோட்டல்ஸ்க்கும் அதே மாதிரி ஹவுஸ் ஹோல்ட் சர்வீசஸ் மட்டும் தான் சொல்லியிருக்காங்க சார். இந்த மாதிரி சப்ளையர் வந்து ரெஜிஸ்டர்டா இருந்தா இசிஓ இஸ் நாட் லைபிள் ஃபார் பேயிங் டாக்ஸ்னு. அப்ப ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கேஸ்ல சப்ளையர் ரெஜிஸ்டர்டா இருந்தாலும் இசிஓ மட்டும் தான் பே டாக்ஸ் பண்ணுமா சார் டிரான்ஸ்போர்ட்டேஷன் சர்வீசஸ்?
Correct. That wording is not there, no.
So வந்து in all the cases ECO is liable in case if they deal with transportation services.
Transportation of
Passengers.
Maxi cab.
Yeah.
Or
Yes, sir.
motorcycle.
Yes, sir. Clear, sir. Thank you.
Correct. Clean well, a ECO. Clean well, an ECO. Located in India, Maharashtra, was engaged in housekeeping services. Following are the transactions executed during the month. The company wants to know who is liable to pay tax to government. Supply of services through unregistered person, rupees 3 lakhs. Supply of services through registered person, rupees 7 lakhs. Advertisement. Quick. Very good question. Cleanwell, a ECO located in Bombay, was engaged in housekeeping services. Following are the transactions executed by them during the period. They use the services of unregistered person and supply through unregistered person was 3 lakhs. And all those services supplied to registered person is 7 lakhs. Advertisement services of mobile app is 2 lakhs, but they made the advertisement services no. For that it is 2 lakhs. And the share fee that they received for services provided through mobile app is 3 lakhs. This is part 1 of the question. If you are through with this, I'll get into the part 2 of the question, which is on rate of tax. Okay. Part 1 of the question is this. Once you are done with it, part 2 of the question, in terms of its rate, it will be a little more tricky. Before that, I just want to know 1, 2, 3, 4, who has to pay tax? That's all. To government. Quick. Fast. Quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. Transaction 1, transaction 2, transaction 3, transaction 4. Who has to pay tax? All are in Bombay. Supply is in Bombay. Place of supply is in Bombay. Supplier is in Bombay. Recipient is in Bombay. Okay. Subhashini, check your answer. Italic, Shreyvarshini, italic 3 and italic 4. Can you refer the section numbers and person? I mean, can you revisit your section number and person? Vidya Shankar, correct pa? Good, Dhruv. Nice answer. Super. John, can you be specific on italic 3 and italic 4 instead of referring to a word supplier and recipient? Can you be specific here? Is it clean well or recipient? That is how I want. That is ECO or recipient. That way I want. Karthik Narayanan, nice answer. Super. You got that intention. I mean, you all got it right. Harish Narayanan, same. Good. Ishwar, yes, good. Srinivasan, second answer check. Second answer. But for second rest also. See, I'm not sure how many of you all got it or got the intention of the question. Now, in fact, if you carefully note, supply of services through unregistered person. On that part, no doubt, e-commerce operator is liable to pay. First entry, supply of services through unregistered person. No doubt, ECO is liable. Here, who is liable? If you're going to ask me, I will also agree with you. ECO is liable. Okay. Now, on the second part of the portion, when supply of services through registered person, no doubt, the respective registered person who are suppliers are liable to pay. So when it comes to ECO, when supply of services is through ECO, then they are liable to pay tax under 9(5). Here, 9(1). When it comes to advertisement services, see, advertisement service is a service which is done on that app. By whom? By the respective app owner. Here, in case of this app owner, the money will go to the respective owner of the app, or they get that money through shared revenue, whatever be it. The respective e-commerce operator will pay tax under 9(1), and followed by, in case of share fee from both registered and unregistered person, again e-commerce operator will be liable to pay tax under 9(1). See, this is a little elaborate question. Make yourself more comfortable, and this is how it has to be answered. A lot of you got it right, except for here and there 1 or 2 transactions you missed, or you swapped the understanding. But by and large, the understanding is here. See, only one point. Whenever you say supplier is liable to pay tax, understand e-commerce operator is also a supplier of service. For the e-commerce transaction, if he pay tax, then he will go to 9(5). For the services he done, if he pay tax, he will go to 9(1). Understand the difference. Sir, why first entry 9(5, last entry 9(1)? Last entry, he supply services. He is a supplier. In the first entry, he is not a supplier. He just connect, create a marketplace. He is just allowing people to get contact themselves. In that transaction, he is not a supplier, he is not a recipient, he is just an e-commerce operator who connects both supplier and recipient. That is why, as an e-commerce operator, he pays. Yes. So 9(5), e-commerce operated related transactions. In fact, in 9(5), in my view, only 3 transactions will come. Transportation of passengers by maxi cab, motor cab. That second transaction will be your 9(5) transaction of supply of services, of accommodation services through unregistered person, supply of housekeeping services through unregistered person. But for this 3 transaction, you will never touch 9(5) at all. Rest all will be 9(1) and 9(3). Okay, 9(4) also rare. So hope you understand that message associated. Done? Yes. So we'll do one thing. I would not take up the rate portion here. If I take up the rate portion, it will go a little elaborate, because different services enjoy a different rate of tax. We have a rate of tax. Just for your information, I'll highlight to you. We have a rate of tax which is applicable at 5% in case of when ECO is going to pay tax. Rate of tax will be 5%. When a supplier is going to pay tax, the rate of tax is going to be 18%, which is 9 and 9. And here, of course, 18% and 18%. For those services, advertisement services, it is 18%. And for share fee also, it is 18%. Okay. So rate of tax is different. So based on that, we have to work it out. All are CGST, SGST split. So 2.5, 2.5, 9, 9. That has to be done. So at this level, we'll wind up today's discussion over here. In our next class, we will meet up and take up a different topic for discussion, which will be composition levy. Once discussion of composition levy, then we will go to reverse charge and proceed further. So if any questions are there, yes, I would take it up. Thank you all for effective and patient listening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, can you explain that italic 3 and 4, how e-commerce is liable to pay tax, sir?
E-commerce gets the advertisement revenue. In his app, he advertises some other person's products or some other person's names appears. From Google, he get an advertisement revenue. Then
Okay.
who's the supplier?
The Google is a supplier, and
Supplier or
sorry, e-commerce is the supplier. He's receiving the revenue.
he is receiving the revenue. He is the supplier. In his app, Google will put ads and Google will pay to him. Google will collect money separately. Hope you understand this network. When you are having a free app, you get advertisement. You are forced to see some advertisements for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, which that particular company will pay to Google. Google in turn will share it with the respective app based on number of advertisements played. Understood?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
That is a
Yes, sir,
Google
yes.
related revenue. I'm not giving much elaboration on the question, but just this is how the business model operates. Fourth one. Why should I do a favor to you? What way you're going to benefit me? I'm having a good customer base. I allow you to supply to my customers. In this process, what benefit I'm going to get? When you charge on the customers, let's say 10 lakh rupees, you will give me 3 lakhs. So that's my revenue. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
That's share fee. That is called as share fee. That is called as commission. That is called as facilitation charge. Different company will use different terminology.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Got it. Sir. Thank you, sir.